Changes of state. What are we looking at in this picture? Does anybody know? Any guesses? All right, let's hear from Jack. Jack, what do you think this is?
I think this is the lava drop into one of.
Well, not quite, Jack. That's a good guess. It's not lava. Rosie, what do you think?
Soil.
Soil? What do you mean by soil?
It was electricity.
Not quite. We're getting closer though. Pasta, what do you think?
Melted metal.
Exactly. There we go. This is melted metal, molten metal. This metal has been melted. Raise your hand on Zoom if you think you could tell me how they melt metal. What do you have to do to a piece of metal to melt it? This answer is easier than you think. Ray, what do you do to metal to melt it?
We heat it up so it melts.
Exactly, we heat it up. All we do is add a lot of heat. A lot more than you need to melt ice, okay? A lot of heat, and we can turn metal into a liquid. And what do you think they are? Why do you think they're pouring this liquid metal? What do you think? Taylor, why do you think they're pouring this liquid metal?
Now.
Not sure? Who has a guess? Taylor, you've changed your mind. Go ahead, Taylor.
I think they put the metal liquid on something because they want to make it turn into metal.
Yeah, they want the metal to turn into this shape. Exactly. They want metal rods. They want metal that is this shape. So they melt it and then they pour it in this shape. So that is how you can change the shape of metal. You have to melt it and then put it in a mold. Okay, all right. Today we will. Let's hear from Cherry. Cherry, go ahead and read this for me.
Today we will check homework very quickly. Learn about melting. Learn about evaporation.
Very good. That last word was very close, Cherry. It's evaporation. Can you say evaporation?
Evaporation.
Very nice. Okay, let's get started then. So the first thing was the quick homework check. Who can tell me number one? Number one, raise your hand using the button on Zoom. Sophia, number one. From a solid, I want you to include the state. So you would say a solid to a liquid is?
A solid to a liquid is evaporation.
What is it?
Evaporation.
A solid to a liquid? That is not correct. Let's try Zook. Zook, what is number one? A solid to?
A solid to a liquid is called freezing.
A solid to a liquid?
A solid to melting.
Okay, whew, I was about to be a little worried. 2 in a row, okay. Number two, a liquid to a gas. Sino, go ahead. Great job on your homework, Sino.
A liquid to a gas is evaporation.
Excellent, evaporation or evaporating. Very good, Sino. Okay, let's hear from Puppy, number three.
Freezing.
Good, freezing, liquid to solid. And the last one, number four. Number four, Banana, go ahead.
Gas to liquid.
And what goes in number four?
Condition.
Good, can you say condensing?
Condensing.
Very good. All right. If you didn't check your work on the video, go ahead and check it now. Who can give me number 1 and 2? All right, Susu, give me number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 is sublimation. Number 2 is deposition.
Good. Deposition. Deposition. I hope I spelled these right. I think I did. Sadly, I cannot turn them, so they're just gonna have to be like this. All right, sublimation and deposition. All right, solid to a gas. That happens in dry ice. It's a solid, and as soon as you move it, it'll turn straight from a solid to a gas. All right, we're not gonna do 3, 4, 5, 6, because you guys already did that on this one. So we are going to go on. Changes of state. Okay, we did physical and chemical changes last week. This week, we're doing changes of state. Everybody, unmute and read the title. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
How can heating change matter? How you ever met chocolate?
Very good. You guys already made some observations about this butter last class. So now let's read about it. Who would like to read? Let's have Sam. Sam, can you please read this for us?
Have you ever left a bar of chocolate in your pocket in summer when you reach and to get it? It was probably melting.
Excellent. It was probably melting, right? Has anyone touched a melting piece of chocolate? Very messy. Very messy. Your fingers get all brown and sticky.
I touched already because when I eat chocolate ice cream, it all melts.
Yes, well, ice cream's a little different than just regular chocolate. But if you keep chocolate in your pocket and it's hot outside and your body is hot and then you try and open it, it will be melting. Everyone read the first sentence together. Everyone read the first sentence.
Melting is from a solid to a liquid.
Excellent job. Now, can I please have Bunny go ahead and read the next sentence.
Some solids, such as gold and glass, will only melt when they are very hot.
Excellent. You know, glass is made from melting sand and doing a lot of other things to it, but it has to be very hot. Okay? Milk, can you please read the last sentence?
Such as ice and butter melt at much lower temperature.
Excellent. So everyone underline the materials that that melt at a lower temperature. The ones that would melt maybe at 30 degrees Celsius. Which ones melt at a lower temperature? Go ahead, underline. Where's my drawing? All right, a lot of people are underlining the word solids. Why? Are solids a material? Solids are a state of matter. Glass, gold, ice, butter, they are all solids. Everyone take another look. Some solids, such as gold and glass, will only melt when they are very hot. Other solids, such as ice and butter, melt at much lower temperatures. So
I cannot draw.
I know. I want you to underline The ones that melt
Okay, not
at
raw.
the lower temperature when it is not as hot. Which ones will melt sooner? Which ones will melt at the lower temperature when it is not as hot? Much better. Those ones will melt at the lower temperature. Which ones take a lot of heat? A lot of heat to melt. It needs to be really high temperature, maybe 400 degrees Celsius. It could be really, really, really hot. Very good. Nice work. What are some things that will melt with the addition of only a little heat? So what are some things that melt when you add just a little bit of heat to them? Raise your hand using the button on Zoom. And you cannot say butter or ice because they already told you those. Banana, do you have another one that will melt with just a little bit of heat added?
Cheese.
Cheese, excellent, very good, Banana. Jack, what do you think?
No big.
Not really. Zook?
Okay.
Okay.
Cream.
Ice cream, excellent. It doesn't have to be that warm to melt ice cream. Who else has one? Raise your hand using the button on Zoom. Raise your hand using the button on Zoom. Nice, Taylor.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Actually, surprisingly, some plastics. If you try and burn plastic, you guys see it in the street all the time. It actually burns pretty easily sometimes. Maybe fat, like animal fat. We saw that in Bunny's video. It can melt pretty quickly. Puppy, do you have one?
Paper.
Not paper, because paper doesn't really melt. Paper just burns and turns into ash.
Okay.
That's more of a chemical change, right? When we add heat to paper, that's a chemical change, not a physical change of the state. What takes a lot of heat to melt? I will start us off again with the ones they said. Gold, glass. I'll lower your hands, and now everyone go ahead and raise your hand to tell me what takes a lot of heat to melt. Jack, you want another try? Go ahead, Jack.
A glass.
We've already said glass. Susu, go ahead, Susu.
Me. Metal.
Metal, excellent. A lot of different types of metal, especially steel. Steel is the really, really hard one to melt.
Me.
How about?
I have a special one.
You have a special one, Rosie. Go ahead.
Diamond.
Diamonds, interesting, very good. Yes, definitely some gems. Banana?
Iron and titan.
Oh, iron and titanium. Okay, very good, Banana. Excellent work. Iron and titanium. Titanium is super, super, super strong. All right, guys, well, that's a great start. Zeno, can you please read this for us?
When gold melts, you can pour into a mold. As the gold cools, it will be harder.
Excellent. It will harden. It will get harder. So when gold melts, you can pour it into a mold. Same with steel and iron. Everyone go ahead and underline or circle the mold. What is a mold? Not like mold on your bread, right? Go ahead and circle mold. This is the pourer, what the gold was melted in. This was put in the fire and got really hot. And this is the liquid gold. What is the mold? What is a mold? Think back to Moon's video when she made jellies, fruit jellies, and she poured them into a mold. You can pour it into molds. Nice work. Yes. The mold is this at the bottom. It's what changes the shape. So it will harden and become a solid in the shape of the mold. Now you have gold that's this shape. All right, guys, we're all done with melting. Let's take a look at evaporate. All right, let's have Bunny. Bunny, go ahead and read this for us.
Water can change to a gas when it is heated. Evaporate means to change from liquid to gas and float into the air.
Excellent. Everybody, please read this last sentence that Bunny just read. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I need to unmute you. All right, go ahead now. 1, 2, 3.
Evaporate means change from liquid to gas and go into the air.
Excellent job. Okay. And everyone, underline the part that tells you what changes it from a liquid to a gas. What causes this to happen? What makes liquid water evaporate? What is the cause? What makes the liquid water evaporate? All right, I see a lot of different ideas. Who thinks they know what causes liquid to evaporate into a gas? What makes this happen? Taylor?
Heat.
Heat. Yes, I saw Taylor, Puppy, and a few others get that correct over here. The heat is what causes this to happen. Okay, let's see. First 2 sentences.
It's
How about, let's hear from Milky. Milk.
Okay. If any heat is added to water, it will boil. When water boils, you can see bubbles.
Excellent. You've all seen boiling water before. Bubble, bubble, boil, boil. Okay, when water boils, you can see bubbles. Who can read the rest, starting from the bubbles? Let's hear from Cherry. Go ahead, Cherry.
The bubble shows that the water is changing to a gas called water vapor.
Yep, go ahead and read the last sentence too.
We cannot see water vapor.
Excellent. So in this picture, you can see the water vapor going into the air, but once it gets high enough, it just becomes part of the air. We can't really see it anymore. So, what word do you see inside the word evaporate? What word do you see inside the word evaporate? I'll write it here. Evaporate. What word do you see inside of it? There's a word inside evaporate that you know. Sino?
It is vapor.
It is vapor. Evaporate has the word vapor in it, like water vapor. That's a good way to remember that this means it is turning into a vapor. Evaporate turns into a vapor. Okay, nice work, Sino. Excellent job.
Miss Miranda, can I out?
Yes.
So I can go in again. I got a thing that we can, when we draw and then we can solve it if we use a computer.
Okay, interesting. Well, before our next part, we're going to do a little from a solid to a liquid to a gas and then back to a liquid. We're going to look at melting and then evaporation and then condensation. So for that, I'm going to join the Zoom meeting on my phone so that you can watch easier.
It's a rocket.
Okay.
Here we
go. So here is this empty. Everybody, is this ice a solid, a liquid, or a gas?
Solid.
That is my
Solid.
ice. Solid, but that is my ice.
Excellent. It keeps its own shape. It is a solid. What is it called when a solid turns into a liquid? What is that called?
Melting.
Heating.
Good.
Melting.
So we're going to turn this solid
Melting.
into a liquid. Here we can see it keeps its own shape in my hand. And now we're going to turn it into a liquid. Let's take a look. I'll turn it up really high so it happens quickly. We can already see it starting. The solid ice is melting into a liquid. And you can see it
It
already.
looked like it was skating. Ice skating. So quick.
All right, and already,
Gas.
what is this gas called? What is this gas called that is coming off of it?
Sublimation.
You can tell me, what is this gas called? How about, hands up, what is this gas called? Sam?
Sublimation.
Not sublimation, because it did turn into a liquid first. It did do a liquid first. The liquid is turning into a gas. What is that called? How about, oh, Sino's hand up is again. Let's do Zook. Zook, what is it called when this liquid turns into a gas?
When a liquid turns into a gas, it's called evaporation.
Evaporation, very good. Here we can see the boiling water is turning into a gas. This is called evaporation. Everyone unmute and say evaporation.
Evaporation.
Now we are going to look at this gas turning back into a liquid. Ready? We're going to see this gas turning back into a liquid. This metal top is cold. It is cold. So, whoa! Look at all the water on the lid. How did that happen? How did all of this water get onto the lid?
Miss Miandazan is condensation.
Excellent job, Zook. It is called condensation. Very nice. But Zook, next time raise your hand because Ben 10 and Sino were raising their hand, okay? This is called condensation. Ben 10, what is condensation?
Condensation is water vaporizing up.
When the water turns into water vapor, that's evaporate. What is condense? Not evaporate. Condensation. When water vapor
Turn into clouds.
not quite. So here we had the water vapor coming up out of the water. So let me dry this off again. There is no liquid on this lid. The lid is dry. Here is our water vapor. The liquid is evaporating. Now I'll put this on. And look, now there is liquid. Now it is wet. This is called condensation. What does that mean? Moon, what do you think? What does it mean? What is condensation? When a gas
To a liquid.
To a liquid.
Exactly. The gas, the water vapor touched the cold lid and turned back into a liquid. Okay? All right. Good observations, everybody.
Make the screen up.
All right. So we went from a solid ice to liquid water, then to a gas called water vapor, and then back to a liquid through.
We have a video while there is watch.
We are going to do a video, yes, but not watch as in watch me, not watch the video. So, ice, adding heat to ice. Everyone read this part at the bottom, all 3 arrows.
Adding heat.
Adding heat to ice. Like ice turned into a liquid. Then into a gas.
Excellent. And that is called ice, water, and water. What is the name of the gas? Jack. Jack, I will take a star off. I will take a point from Class Dojo for bad behavior. That's almost 3 times today when you've been talking and you're not supposed to. Nam, what is the name of the gas in the diagram? What is the name of the gas?
Water vapor.
You say vapor.
Vapor.
Good, water vapor, excellent. What would happen if the fire was turned off after the ice was melted? So after the ice is melted and the flame was turned off, what would happen? Ben 10, what do you think? Costa?
The water will stay liquid form.
Excellent. It will not freeze, but it will not turn into water vapor because there's no more heat. It will stay the same. Okay, before we go, we're gonna watch a quick video and then class will be over. So that's it for today. Today we learned melting is when matter changes from a solid to a liquid. Evaporation, actually let's have everyone read these. Everyone read all 3. Go ahead. Ready? 1.
Today we learned melting when matter changes into a liquid. We learned evaporation when matter changes into a gas.
Evaporation is one
We
of
learned
the
this
changes
form by
when
adding the number of
these
feet.
things are caused by adding different amounts of
About the heat. When matter change from a liquid to a gas.
Okay. Nice work, everyone. So your homework is put 3 different things on your windowsill, somewhere where they'll get some sunlight, okay? Anything you want. Anything you want. After a few hours, Write some observations. So your homework today is writing. Did any of them melt? Did any of them evaporate? Did some of them not change at all? Is there any condensation? So you want to compare. Some materials might melt, some might evaporate, some might not have any change at all. Okay? So you want to compare 3 things, and after a couple of hours, write your observations. Any questions? Yes, Moon?
Can I leave? But my house cannot put anything on the window because at my window have all the plants already.
Okay, if you can't put it by the window, just put it on a table and see if it will, if anything changes. Okay?